Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Friday. It's April 22nd, 2016. This is the 404 show. Thank you for tuning in, even though we're all about to get together tonight and celebrate the very important holiday.
Yeah, we're all.
Yeah, Justin, too.
Right, Seder tonight.
Yeah, you coming for that?
All
Definitely.
3% of the population.
It's Passover.
Invited.
It's Passover. This podcast is kosher for Passover.
It is.
Can you bring guests to Passover dinner?
Yeah.
It is.
What the hell? How come I never got an invite from you?
We don't have to talk about that. I mean, yeah, I think like part of Passover, and I should probably know this, but again,
Is inviting people.
yeah,
Oh.
it's like oh, let's open the door to the not homeless. I don't think they want homeless people coming
that's
in.
Elijah.
Homeless.
No, they scoff at the homeless, but they want the hungry.
And what about the invisible prophet Elijah that shows up and drinks your wine?
So there's a part in the service, in the dinner service. Okay, is this real or not, Justin? Ready?
I think we already ruined it.
There's a part in the service where someone opens the door, the front door.
Homeless guy.
No. To an invisible man named, we'll call him Elijah.
Okay. Sorry,
And-
I don't mean
and
to
a-
laugh because this could be real.
And
It is real.
Elijah has his own cup
Cup
In-
of wine.
of wine in the center of the table.
Okay.
And they go, all right, Elijah, come on in. You're late, as usual.
Yeah.
Come on in,
Same
have
joke every time.
a sip.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess everyone stands up and welcomes Elijah into the house.
Wait, is
that
this real?
Is that real?
I think it is real.
It's real.
Because you're not laughing about it.
Well, it's hilarious.
But you actually do get up and open a door
Yeah.
at
Oh,
some
yeah.
point?
Oh, 100%.
Everyone does it?
Yeah, there's a lot of OCD in Passover.
Huh.
There's like, you wash your hands 4 times.
Well, that's just...
I mean, again,
good
it's all
sanitation.
determined on like how religious you are, obviously.
I think like every book you read from
Right.
has many times you wash your
Yeah,
hands.
there's a lot of washing hands.
You take 1 sip of wine. You basically go through a shit
hokey
ton
pokey.
of really weird things.
But it's
Right,
also arguably the best story in the Old Testament, right?
I'm not
In
interested
terms of like action-packed, there's giant waves, there's insects, there's death is flying around.
Yeah, it is a blockbuster.
It is.
It's a summer. It's a
Why do you
spring
think
blockbuster.
Charlton Heston starred in it?
Yeah, it's true.
Unfortunately, it ends with really dry brisket, which is a bummer.
Yeah, it ends with food that's like super overrated, and it ends with like you being constipated for 6 days.
I think gefilte fish was one of the plagues originally, and it just got worked into.
Do you know about the plagues, Justin?
Yeah, I do. Of course I know about the plague.
It's so. Oh my god.
Let
I
those
don't-
locusts in.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough for like a little kid. It's fun for a little kid because you're like, oh, this is a weird
I don't
dinner.
know if
It's a
it's
party.
fun.
No, I remember having a good time.
Really?
My uncle, who used to do the leading it,
Sure.
and still does.
Yeah.
Made it a lot of fun for me and my brother.
Sure.
Because we were just like, oh, that's Uncle Howie. He's crazy.
Yeah.
He doesn't really take this seriously because it's all bullshit, right? And he's just having fun with it.
Don't offend the listeners. There are some
people-
Jewish
Oh,
listeners
oh,
that
no,
actually
no, no.
respect
Right.
this
I'm just saying the voice. I'm echoing the voice of 10-year-old
Young
Jeff,
Jeff.
Right.
Yeah.
who was just like, I already
Is
see
that
through
different
this.
from adult Jeff?
He was less polite about it. But anyway,
Yeah.
not only are our drinks that we're holding
They're all
kosher for
they're
Passover,
all seltzer, which is really the drink of the Jewish man.
this is the
really?
choice of a Jewish generation.
Yes. If there was any drink that was associated with Jews, it would be seltzer.
Yeah.
It's like the New Balance of
New
sodas.
York Jews in particular.
Totally, it's basically the bagel of beverages. Well,
Oy.
Oy
It's
is
also
right.
Earth Day today,
Oh, is it?
Really?
right? Yeah. See,
Is
you
it?
guys gotta
I feel like Earth
celebrate
Day-
other holidays.
I feel like Earth Day has really fallen in terms of promotion.
The only reason I know that is because City Bike in New York is offering free rides to anyone if you go and sign up online.
Oh, okay.
If you want to maybe not drive a car today, in respect
Yeah,
to
but
that
that's
holiday.
like signing up for free Netflix for a day, and then you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
It's just
true.
like a money-making scam.
Well, I think the bigger story is that I read on Reuters a couple weeks ago that apparently there's been 23 million bicycles rented across the United States in a bunch of these bike share programs in major cities. But there has not been one reported case of a fatality involving a bike share.
No chance.
Not
in
one.
hell. There's no way that's
it's
true.
possible that it's happened, but just has not gotten
Why?
recorded yet for some reason.
So what's the big deal?
But it hasn't gotten tracked back to a bike
That's
share.
always been my concern was the second you open up these bike shares and you have like tourists visiting New York City. I don't have the balls to ride a bike in New York City, let alone like some guy from Ohio that's never been here before.
There's no way that guy's renting a bike though.
I've definitely seen tourists riding bikes through the streets.
No, definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah, like
Totally.
up Park Avenue too.
Well,
which is crazy.
that they shut. You mean when they shut down Park Avenue, or like when traffic's
Oh,
actually running?
yeah, when it's actually running.
Yeah,
yeah,
no, that's
you see
terrifying.
people on the street all the time.
So there must like, unless all these cities are burying it,
yeah, it could be that the
Like, oh,
statistics are wrong.
juking the stats.
How many
Conspiracy.
people died today on those share bikes?
Yeah,
38.
This is actually the new season of The Wire. They're bringing it back just for this.
it's really unbelievable.
38. That ain't that bad.
Yeah, it's been a very green week so far.
I guess so. Oh, are you referring to pot?
Well, because you have the story up right now. I'm just looking at a bunch of pot leaves on your computer.
Well, that's the thing. Not only, it was at 420 this week, which is very important to people
420 is the new April Fool's.
Can I
by
just
the way.
say you didn't let me finish. I was going to say 420 is very important to people who don't smoke pot. Right? Like that is essentially what that has turned into. But in the tradition of Passover, the ancient holiday of Passover, turns out some sort of prolific rabbi has deemed marijuana to actually be kosher for Passover, which of course it is, because how the hell else are you supposed to get through all that time with your in-laws?
Yeah, that sounds.
You
about
gotta
right.
be stoned.
And you got to make that food taste good because
Exactly.
unleavened bread is zero good.
Yeah, no one's ever been like, ooh, can I get some more of that matzah?
I
Yeah.
do kind of like the apple nut combo. There's
What?
Like the chopped apples and the nuts is pretty good.
Corrosits.
Haroset.
Corrosits.
I think it's called, not corrosive.
Corrosive sets.
And the horseradish also has appeal. I've
Yeah,
had
it's not
like
bad.
really good horseradish, but everything else is garbage. I completely agree with you.
Okay.
Like
So-
the egg. Ugh.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. So Belarusian Rabbi Chaim Kavinsky
Yeah.
has said that marijuana may be
Kanievsky.
doesn't matter. Marijuana may be used by the Jews from all backgrounds. So that includes Asian Jews as well.
Those exist.
They do exist. I'm looking at one. You're in by the transitive property of friendship
And the seltzer.
and the
Used to be on a
seltzer
team.
and the mahjong. Yeah, so it doesn't matter what kind of Jew you are. Any Jew from any background is allowed to smoke or consume marijuana.
Yeah, said this guy. Here's the
yeah.
thing. Jews don't have a pope.
Wait, there's an addendum here.
There's
that's
he
very
says it's
important.
for medical purposes,
Yeah.
but like nobody
Oh.
smokes pot just for no reason.
And you could get, those jackets they have for dogs that are like stress jackets, but you
Yeah.
can get them in a second.
right? Come on, you're telling me
Same
all of
thing.
California has like medicinal issues?
Yeah,
Get
no,
out of
give
here.
me a break.
That's
You know,
great.
Loophole.
It's great.
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah. Good
So
for
just-
you guys.
so just
I know
so
you've
we're
been holding
clear.
out, Jeff.
I know. I have been waiting until somebody actually made this okay.
Mm-hmm.
So bread, no, bread's bad.
Right.
But pot, go nuts.
Yeah.
You know what's a bummer though is because like I can't imagine like you would want like a bagel after smoking, and you really can't have that. Like your options are severely limited. Like you're not gonna have some fish,
I guess. What do you mean?
Sushi maybe. Is sushi okay? No, the rice. Rice would be bad.
You'd have to have like sashimi and then not eat the rice.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you say sashimi?
Was it sashimi?
Sashimi.
Whatever. You're not Japanese. Don't correct me. It's not like you have any authority on that. Right?
That's amazing. Yeah, no, that's good. I don't like sashimi anyway, so it doesn't
I
matter.
like sashimi.
I'm excited, man. Passover this year, huh? It's my kids' like first kind of real
Are you
Passover.
excited?
No, but but Dylan's gonna like be a part of it.
Yeah.
I'm not excited for him to be exposed to it. I just like enjoy, watching him be in different situations.
Yeah. And
fun.
indifferent to things.
Yeah, being indifferent and in
Yeah.
different
He
situations.
held it down. I was at his first birthday party a
Yeah.
little while ago, and he was doing extremely well. I was very impressed because first birthday parties are kind of a nightmare situation for kids.
Yeah,
Because it's crowded and there's all this attention. and
it's
everything.
scary.
He held it down for way longer than I thought it was going to be.
He's a good man. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
bring him back into the office one day.
Yeah.
and he'll come on the show and slap me like he
Yeah.
does now.
Wait, he slaps you?
slaps the shit out of
Just
me.
your
What?
face?
Just like and laughs the whole way
Oh,
through it.
my
He's
God.
just to like prompt him first while like
No,
grabbing his hand.
I just like grab. He'll
Okay.
just like put my face in his face, and he goes like, "Ha ha!" Slap,
Does he
slap.
do that to Stacy too?
Yeah, everybody. It's
Everybody.
like he's in a
Okay.
slapping thing right now,
man.
Yeah, that's something to encourage.
and he's just like, "Arr!" and I'm like, "Yes,
Yeah.
that's the move." There you go.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I'll have to Snapchat it or something. Okay, you, sir, Mr. Justin Yu, were talking to me this morning around the bagel pit, as I like to call it.
Okay.
And you were saying this crazy story about like 3D printing and tracking 3D printing.
Yeah. I know how much you guys are aching for printing stories. So we actually have a few of them in the rundown today, which is kind of appropriate that I'm here.
Of course.
I put them in.
That's what you bring with yourself, right?
If I can take the challenge, I will try to make printing exciting for you guys.
Okay.
I think
This story is kind of cool.
I think you make printing sexy.
Oh, thanks, man.
I have not owned a printer in 5 years.
And you shouldn't.
So you've got an uphill battle ahead of you, but I believe in you.
Okay, well, this is 3D printing, so it's a little different.
It's cooler already.
Yeah, so the story we're talking about is so UCI, which is University of California, Irvine,
Okay.
Yep.
in Southern California, they're sort of re-examining the copyright laws surrounding 3D printing right now. Because last month, they discovered this crazy vulnerability where you can actually make a one-to-one duplicate of a 3D printed object just by analyzing a sound recording of the original printing process. So, in
But you
other
need
words,
to know what the printer was.
you don't have to know what the printer was,
Really?
which is even crazier.
Wait.
So if you guys if you haven't seen a 3D printer in action, it emits this kind of crazy noise that's similar to the sound of one of those old dot matrix printers, right? It's like
Yeah.
as it goes across the printing platform because it's a real mechanical extruder that's laying down material,
Right.
but it's not making that sound all the time. It's only when it's pressing down layers. And so that's how they do it. As it's extruding that plastic, you can steal information to be used to recreate exact replicas, not even just a rough estimate, a one-to-one duplicate.
So there's
That's
no
kinda scary.
variance. Essentially, it's either binary. So it's either on or it's off.
Right,
There's
it's-
no like, I'm putting in a lot of whatever material now.
Right. The only thing that you might not be able to get correct is the dimensions, the exact dimensions of it, as in scale. Because I think if it's printing out a thick layer versus a thin layer, you won't be able to tell.
But
the
does it
difference.
do that?
But it can do that. But
So then there is a varying amount.
I think there's a slight variance, but you could still definitely make out what the original product was.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy because I don't think people have really figured out what you can do with it yet.
Right.
It's just kind of exposing this vulnerability. But you could see how if a company is manufacturing prototypes of something, they want to keep a
Oh,
secret.
Yeah, you could just
Then-
go in there with an audio recorder. And
Yeah.
So think about that.
That's awesome.
Kind of like backwards hacking I never thought we'd even like consider. It reminds me, I was telling you before, it reminds me of sneakers.
Yeah, totally.
When,
my voice is
movie.
my passport, verify me.
Right. And also the dude who's like in the trunk of that car.
Oh yeah,
And he like
he's blind- yeah.
explains
I
what
mean-
highway they're on
Right.
due to the sounds
And
the
he
car
ends up
made.
in a cocktail party because he's surrounded by flamingos.
Right. That's very
awesome.
cool.
I love that movie.
Yeah,
That
Dan
movie's
Aykroyd
so
kills
damn
it.
good.
Yeah, I gotta
it's
go back
really
and
good.
watch
We
it.
gotta-
Go back.
That was,
and
I
watch.
feel like a lot of real hackers say that sneakers is the only like realistic depiction of that ever in a movie.
Does that? Oh, I guess it does. I think I've seen pictures of it. The blind computer with the braille on it is
Yeah.
like where it's constantly changing is like super wicked.
Real? Yeah. It's pretty interesting.
I don't know. Yeah, I know a lot of blind people use screen readers.
Yeah.
As their like go to now. I'm curious if the braille
Wait, that was a real thing?
still. I don't know. But it
Oh
looked
wow,
amazing.
Sneakers is 1992.
Yeah. And the cast was like couldn't be stopped.
Sidney Poitier.
It was Robert Redford.
Robert Redford, River Phoenix was in
River
that movie.
Phoenix, right.
Dan
Dan
Aykroyd, as you
Aykroyd.
mentioned.
Yeah.
David Strathairn as the blind guy.
Ben Kingsley, right? Wow.
It was
Forgot about
like
this guy.
every single person in this movie was a huge star.
Yeah.
Wow.
You remember when the Kinect came out a few years ago? People were kind of freaking out about this same sort of copyright law issue where people were just scanning things.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember Disney sort of took issue with it because they were like, well, if you start scanning our action figures, you're going to violate our copyright laws. And they kind of had to adjust the rules based on that. But
I feel like
you could scan people's faces too
Yeah.
and just have a sort of a picture of them, which is sort of the same thing as just taking a regular photo.
Of course. I think the thing with the sound that a 3D printer makes, it's like, I think that's just like a very temporary thing too, though. Because like odds are that technology moves on and changes and maybe becomes silent. You know,
or you just program it so it adds noise randomly.
you know what I would want to do?
like white noise on
Right.
top of a printing center.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would want to like make the noise and print out the noise. Do you know what I mean? Like
Like
I
on
want to
the
be like, you know, and see what that makes.
I
Like
have no idea what you're talking
you don't. Justin
Oh.
got it.
You mean like onomatopoeia, like you're saying the noise.
Yeah,
You see what I
I'm
mean?
saying
I
the
see.
printer noise.
Maybe you could just say like desk.
You can. This is so nerdy, but there was a YouTube video that I saw. I'll try to send it to you after this. But someone used a spectral sound analyzer
Yeah.
to use their voice to do exactly what you said, to basically make pictures
Sure.
in the equalizer.
Yeah.
So you could, just by going like
Yeah.
create a spike, and then using that you could draw things like
Well,
compass
that's-
or
and we've talked
shapes
about
based on that.
The crazy like hidden messages stuff before.
Right, in popular
the-
songs.
But like the sounds that those pictures make, if that makes sense in your head,
Oh yeah.
they're all like staticky, crazy, like
Right.
like weird stuff.
Oh, there was one song that was in that segment. We got to go back and listen to ourselves.
We got to listen to what the hell it is we were talking
Where
about.
it painted, over the course of an entire track, it painted a photo. If you isolated this guy's
Yeah.
voice,
What?
it painted a picture of a scary face.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's
And
so
that
much
was
weird.
terrifying.
I
It was like
love.
an Alice Cooper song.
Oh, I love that so
That's
much.
wicked.
Really creepy.
Yeah, people. I don't think people put that level of effort in anymore. Like,
yeah, little Easter eggs or something.
like the whole
in there.
Beatles thing with Paul being dead.
Right.
I don't know if that was fan manufactured.
It 100% was not. Are you kidding me?
Are they? They've talked about it.
They don't need to talk about it. There's so much stuff that's like as it goes farther and farther along.
Once you
so
start
obvious.
digging, all you do is get dirty.
The like weird backwards phone number and the cover for Sergeant Pepper's.
Oh, I don't.
And you call it and it was a phone number.
He's the walrus.
And he's the walrus, which is death, apparently. The
Yeah,
walrus means death.
obviously it's the Grim Reaper
I
or
buried
the walrus.
Paul. It's amazing. Whether it's real or not, even though I'm pretty sure it's real, I love that stuff. It's so interesting. Like
It's cool. I love
people
hitting.
having fun.
Yeah. What was the last really cool thing like that in
Um,
popular culture?
Jack White had that special vinyl that came out a couple years ago that people were freaking their beaks about.
What was special about it?
How were
was-
they freaking their beaks.
So, when a record turns, it created this weird hologram that was projected on top of the record of a dancing ballerina. That was kind of cool. And
What?
then
How
if
did-
you set the needle halfway onto a groove, it would play a different song.
Oh, that's
There's
cool.
like two different versions of the song depending
Oh,
on where
that's
you
pretty
put the
cool.
needle on the record.
How did it make the
Also, if you
hologram?
reverse, because there was a photo that was printed onto the sticker
Yeah.
on the middle of the thing, and then when that turned, I guess it like reflected in the cartridge of the
that's
needle, and
crazy.
it created a little picture.
And then you told me something else.
Oh, that was the crazy thing too, is the sticker, they actually printed grooves underneath the label.
so you peeled
and
off
so
the
you
label?
could put you didn't even have to do that. You could put
on the sticker.
the needle directly onto the sticker, and it would play a hidden track.
A very short.
That was
song.
kind of cool.
I remember there was something super weird that they put in a magazine.
Oh, it was an advertisement
Yes.
for a credit card, I think. It was an American
Something.
Express. I
And you
remember
could
you
pu-
bringing that.
And what could you do? You could like play it somewhere. What the hell
Forget,
was
this is
it?
so long ago.
There's a lot of weird stuff like that, but you're right. It does seem like the fun of that has been kind of disappearing from the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I kind of wish that stuff
Because
stuck
no one
around.
buys.
No one
Conspiracy
buys
theories.
physical shit anymore.
Yeah.
Actually, I was going to talk to you guys about this too. Did you guys know that if you print a print job using a color laser printer, you can actually track that job back to the source and actually find out what the serial number for the printer
Wait
it
a
was
minute.
built on.
Wait
Yeah.
a minute. Now you said that. I will try and re-say it to you.
Yeah.
Okay, you're saying that if I print anything using a laser printer,
Color laser printer. It has to be
it has to
in
be color.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Okay, that's a huge caveat. But okay, so I print a photo of my kid on a laser printer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Color laser printer.
Any
There's
color laser.
some kind of
Any
watermark.
manufacturer. Yeah.
So how does that work?
So I don't think a lot of people know this, but it's kind of the only interesting thing about consumer level
Yeah.
laser printers.
And why only color?
Well, the reason why is because way back, I think it was in the 80s, they started doing this. All the printer manufacturers do this too. Canon, Xerox.
It's like a
HP.
VIN number.
I
But they
think
have
I
their
know
own
why.
code. The reason why
Okay.
Secret
Yes.
Service.
Oh,
Yes.
counterfeit.
Exactly why. So every color laser prints a copy of a unique ID that goes back to the printer manufacturer to prevent counterfeiting.
So, and it's like just embedded somewhere?
Yeah, and this happened back when color lasers were invented, I think in the 80s. The government and printer companies established a partnership and agreed to do this silently.
Wow.
So if you go back, you can actually read when this was discovered by the Electronic Frontier Foundation. I think it was back in the 90s, like 10 years after it was invented. So if you look at a printed page, I brought something out for you. It doesn't matter because you can't actually see it. But if you held that piece of paper that was printed on a color laser, if you held that underneath a bright blue light or a microscope, you'll actually be able to see these dots that you can trace back to the source. And you can't see them there, so
That's
is it
weird.
all
Actually,
over the page? Or is it
it's
just in one
This
specific
is
part
kind of what it
page?
looks like, and I'm sorry for the, maybe you can narrate what I'm showing you,
Okay,
Jeff.
so it kind of looks like a...
So this is a sample of
Like
what
a
you
light
would
bright,
see if
almost.
if you held a color laser printed page underneath a microscope. It's a series of little yellow dots. And if you sort of start to
amazing.
decode this is for Xerox, but every manufacturer has their own code. You could see that it shows the time that a print job was
Oh,
was
wow. So
printed,
there's like a whole
the
code.
date, and also the unique serial number for the hardware that it was printed on. So you could check out, oh, this was printed on like a Xerox model number, whatever,
That's cool.
and exactly when it was printed.
so it's like almost like this like birth certificate kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where that's so weird.
Do they know, does like Epson know what printer I'm using based on the serial number?
So the lesson here that we have to learn is never register your printer,
Right.
because then the serial number will come back to you. And if you ever end up selling your printer or throwing it away on the street, which
Yeah.
is where I see a lot of
It'll
those,
still stay with
it'll still stay with it. And if
Wow.
someone decides to, try to scan, now that there's like, flatbed scanners and printers, you try to scan a dollar bill, that'll get reported back to the
Well, that
government if it's
also-
connected to the internet,
They
and
also
it could be
do-
traced back to you.
They don't allow, like most printers, correct me if I'm wrong, won't print or scan anything that looks like a dollar bill.
Yeah,
Correct.
if you try and if you
Same with Photoshop.
yeah,
too.
if
Yeah.
Photoshop won't let you import a legal note.
Right.
Believe me, I've tried.
It'll actually pop up. A little window will pop up if you try to Photoshop. Yeah, it'll be like, nope,
You
not
gotta say
gonna
the
do
magic
it.
word.
It's like, do you really think it's that easy?
Yeah.
He says, like, do you think I'm an idiot?
Yeah,
Do you think I'm a damn idiot?
it's not the first time it's been tried before, but it still exists, and it's funny because printer manufacturers will not acknowledge it. But you can go back and check out the EFF article, and everyone does it.
So
It's
what you're
crazy.
saying is I was smart to not have a printer for the last 5 years.
Everyone, yeah. Do not buy one, or at least just don't buy a laser. Get
Well,
an inkjet.
Look, Justin, you did it. You said you wanted. You didn't know how you're going to make printing
weird.
sexy and
I
interesting.
didn't know.
Yeah,
You freaking nailed it.
You found
there
a
you
way.
go.
Because it's just really impressive stuff. That was really rad.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Well, and that was like 10 years worth of printer tech.
All you need
and
to
like
know.
interesting tech. And now you could wait like another 10 years.
You don't need. Yeah,
That's it. We're good. You talked about this Twitter cheating
Oh
thing?
yeah,
What's
yeah.
that
This
about?
Twitter cheating thing is kind of crazy. Wait, do we have time to talk about both this and the VR
Yes.
story?
Yes.
Okay, because I really want to talk about the VR stuff.
This is your show today, buddy.
Oh,
the dream.
thanks, you guys. Yeah,
And
I
then
do
maybe-
appreciate you guys letting me talk about whatever.
And
I
then
want.
maybe
Whenever I
DuckTales.
come.
We have like a
And then
DuckTales.
DuckTales, really important story.
It's very important.
Russ. Yeah, so you can check to see if your partner is cheating on you on Tinder.
Oh, Tinder.
Oh, I thought it was Twitter.
No, Tinder.
You definitely said Tinder.
Did I say Twitter before? Tinder, which is apparently a thing because I guess someone did a study about Tinder users and they found out that 46% of the people they surveyed were actually in a relationship but also on Tinder at the same time.
Yeah, but how many of them? Because I've seen like women at parties, and I'm not making generalizations, but I've literally seen this where they'll like get on Tinder as like a fun activity and be like, no, swipe.
Oh,
you know?
just to
like, one of those.
see
So
what
how many
kind of
of
response
those
they
are
get.
like legitimately trying to cheat
Well,
versus
that's
just
true.
like
So they're tourists.
they're tourists, exactly. It's
I
like
have
a hot
wondered
or
about
not
that
app,
though,
essentially.
especially for people that got together before some of these popular dating apps came
Yeah.
out. Like my girlfriend and I met on OkCupid, but
Right.
that's like love letters now
Yeah.
compared to what they have.
Oh, you mean it's like much more romanticized?
Yeah, exactly. It's like the very
Well,
old
it was like
school.
the eHarmony basically when OkCupid
Yeah.
came out.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
MySpace.
No, you were literally writing love letters
Yeah.
to each other because it wasn't just like a one-line text
Right.
message like Tinder is.
Well, so
I'm all
what do you
bitter
think?
against.
But like Tinder, as much as people knock on it, like it does just make sense.
Yeah.
Like
it's the least path of resistance for
Right.
dating. So essentially, you have to put the least amount of effort in. And I mean, you get out of it. Obviously, the failure rate, presumably, I haven't used it myself, but the failure rate's got to be pretty high.
Yeah.
But it also, the time commitment's very low. So
I maybe, and I don't, and you know, I'm gonna say what everyone thinks, where it's like when you break Tinder down,
yeah,
you are just basically playing this game of, would I have sex with this person?
Yeah, of course.
And that,
Yeah.
but that's all.
But that's what everything is. Isn't that what every
You're right.
dating
It is. It
scenario
is.
like?
But I also feel like the path to that end was in the past. It was more colorful. It was more varied.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
we were
like
trying to pretend that it was.
I'm not
Right,
trying to act
exactly.
like I come from a better place of like relationships. I'm not
Right.
trying to say that because I get it.
Right.
Like we're just going A to B instead of like A with a long ass stroll, la-di-dying around till you get to
Yeah.
B. I get it.
And people do still use Tinder. You have friends that have gotten married that met on Tinder.
Oh, really?
I do have one friend.
Wow.
Who's marrying a Tinder?
Yeah, that's a real
match.
thing.
Okay.
I exposed a friend on Tinder last week.
What?
I'm not on Tinder, but I noticed that he had uploaded a brand new batch of photos on Facebook that were very flattering for him. And not that he's like an ugly guy or anything like that, but when someone replaces all their photos on Facebook, you got to start to wonder. And I kind of put it together because Tinder takes the photos. You can't really control that because it grabs them directly from your Facebook profile.
Oh wow, I forgot how
And
much.
shows you your mutual friends on there, and that's how the website works.
You forget how ingrained Tinder is with Facebook,
Yeah.
right? That's
Yeah, it's a
of it.
big
I
part
was
of
like,
it.
I noticed you uploaded some flattering
Yeah,
photos of
what's
yourself,
that
guy.
about, man?
Yeah,
He's like, need to hit the reset button a little bit.
you're right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole point of the story too, is that it's not really easy to hide yourself on that anymore. Namely, if you're trying to find it, to use it to find a side piece. And a lot of people are doing that. So I think the cool thing about this whole story, I think it's the first thing you should know, is that Tinder has an open API,
Okay.
which I didn't realize that
That's
before
cool.
reading about this.
I think OkCupid does too, doesn't it?
Does it?
I know they do a lot of data sharing, but I don't. It might not be completely open. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
well, Tinder is, and I think that's really cool. So it has an open API, which means that anyone can develop apps based on the open source code.
Yeah.
Right.
So someone used that code to develop an app called Swipe Buster.
Oh,
Right? Swipe Buster lets you see if your SO is cheating on you, and all it costs is $5. So you donate $5 to the service, and then you can type in the name, age, and location of any person that you want. Right? So you type in the name of your SO, where they are, and how old they are. And then the app crawls all of the data and tracks back to see if there are any users basically just doing a simple search through their own API, and then displays to you their photo and all of their information. So a lot of people are starting to catch their significant others
okay, so let me
cheating.
ask you this question. Since it already tracks what your mutual friends are, couldn't you just get a mutual friend of your significant other to sign up?
Yes.
And
Yes.
then match with them?
Yes.
You could have always done that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's really easy. And actually, I know someone who was caught that way too.
oh my God.
But the thing is, it's not always a guarantee that just because a person's profile is up on there, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's them.
Right.
Because we know somebody, I'm not sure if you even know the story, but we know someone that was not exposed, but a friend of theirs sent them a profile that was using their photo on
yeah.
a popular dating
Yeah.
website.
Yeah.
But because he's, a good-looking guy,
Yeah.
it was sort of like they were getting astroturfed.
Oh, yeah.
And someone stole their identity by using their photo.
And I think that's happened a few times.
it has happened a few times, and I'm not surprised either.
Of course not.
But
'Cause
imagine
he's
that if your
beautiful.
SO comes up to you and is like, dude, so my friend caught you on a dating website.
Yeah.
What the hell, man? You're going behind my back trying to go on dates.
Was it
And
just
then
a marketing photo, or was it like an
It was
Yeah.
a
It's
photo
of
that
this
from their
person.
social media.
but
Yeah.
like on a profile page?
On a profile.
Yeah, because someone
wow.
could just lift it and put it on their profile.
Sure,
pic.
yeah.
So, well,
Someone was trying to catfish another person.
well,
using
the
a picture.
crazy thing, oh man, it's just like, and it was like a different name, and
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, and like
Think
it
about
wasn't
that,
Jeff,
yeah.
it was Jerf
Right.
or something. It's
Yeah.
just like,
And it happened a
Oh.
few times. I mean, it's a good thing he didn't really get in trouble for it.
Yeah.
But it could have if it was one of us.
He told me like someone on the street recognized
Yes.
him from that.
Yes.
Wow.
But it wasn't him.
No.
That's
Because at that
crazy.
that point he
is that
didn't
what
even
tipped
have
him
the
off?
account. No, his friend had previously been like had sent him a screenshot
Oh, right.
of a profile. And was like, "Is this you?"
Yeah.
and the guy was like, "No, it wasn't me."
You know who we're talking about. I just don't want to say his name.
Okay. probably a good idea.
Unbelievable story, and I wish that he
That's
can come in here and tell it
crazy.
himself. But it kind of goes to show you that even if someone catches you on here, that's not necessarily an indication that they're cheating.
Right.
Right.
You also have to be super good looking.
What is the like? So Tinder obviously is right now the like lowest path of resistance for dating.
Mm-hmm.
How much lower can we go?
Well, there's Happen.
Okay, what is that?
You know that one,
No.
right? That one sort of uses your geotagged locations
Okay.
to show where other users are in your area that you might have just passed by, which is kind of creepy. But it's been around for a while now. A lot of
Okay.
my friends are on it.
Sure.
And so he's actually one of my friends that's been doing it, demoed it in front of me. And it'll tell you when you've crossed paths with someone and the frequency of which you've like seen them.
Weird.
So like, oh, you pass this person every day on your commute to work or whatever.
Crazy.
You can message them and they're like a mile away from you right now.
I think that I think like that's just as much of a barrier as Tinder.
Yeah, that
though.
seems
Yeah.
like more. Yeah.
I mean, I think when it first came out, that was kind of a creepy thing, but it's been out for a while, so that's like old.
I guess
news.
it's like
I
that
think-
Yo app would be the lowest, right?
No, I think like just photos of penises and vaginas. I think like P's and V's is what you call it. Like, and you just swipe through dicks
oh my God,
or
yeah.
vaginas.
The next unicorn right here.
But
No
that
joke.
like makes sense, right? Like what else do you need to see?
Yeah,
Like
just nudes.
You're just looking at their face. You're
Yeah.
like, well, is their face?
That's what it should
attractive?
be, right? That, in all honesty, it should just be nudes at this point, but with maybe not with faces in them,
Right, that's why.
but like full body
that's
shots,
why.
not just genitalia.
See, at here at P's and V's, when you download our app, we make sure to always mosaic out your face,
or
If
not
it-
if you don't want to,
or not. You can easily check that box with our easy to use interface.
Yeah,
P's and V's in your local app store or Google Play Store
today.
today. Use this QR code. It's just a dick, but use this QR
I'd
code.
love to see that.
I don't think that's that crazy.
Get inside P's and B's.
It's not as
P's
it's,
and V's.
yeah, it's not crazier than like an Ashley Madison or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, for people to just get straight to it.
It's just not.
Yeah.
I just want to know 30 years from now, like, what is the grandpa, like me as a grandpa looking at the new dating app, what am I like shocked at?
I don't see how how could it be more shocking than P's and V's?
Yeah, it's already there.
I mean, maybe like colon health becomes like the most important thing.
No, that doesn't make.
Shots
I
of
can't see that. I can't see us going in that direction.
Yeah.
You never know.
You never know. That's weird, man.
It's weird, but it really makes you think about your personal information that's online, because it could be any of us that this happens to, whether it's Facebook or Tinder. Right? It kind of just goes back to that lesson that we always talk about, which is if you sign up for a service that's free, you are the product.
Yeah.
Even if you sign a paid service like Netflix.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's really easy to just go on there.
I worry a lot about that. Like I just worry about one day everything just getting out there.
Yeah.
You know?
All someone needs to do is write an app for it, and then it'll happen.
Yeah, I guess so. That's creepy. I don't want to get creepy today because
No.
it's Passover. I want to talk a little bit more about VR. We haven't talked about VR in a couple weeks.
I'm surprised. I thought you guys, you're both gamers. You're not really into talking about it too
Well,
much.
we've talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
I've used Oculus and Vive. Have you used both?
I have.
And what is your general thought?
I love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's really fun. I mean, I've
You would.
why?
No, I'm kidding.
What do you mean?
I mean,
Oh, you guys are
We're
are
not
getting bitter about it.
we're
No,
not. I'm not bitter about
bitter.
it. I just like.
You know what's
I just try and think about it practically. Hold
Yeah.
that thought.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not fun for more than 20 minutes.
But that's the thing is, I feel
That's
like a
the
lot of the
thing.
best VR apps aren't going to be fun. They're going to be stuff that seems mundane now, but then when we
No.
like for example, I used one for the Rift that was like a VR a desktop replicator that basically replaces a monitor.
Oh.
And it you could have as many tabbed or window browsers open at once, and you're sort of just in like this giant like Matrix Reloaded
Right, yeah.
screen stack where you're turning around 360 and
Right.
there's monitors everywhere around you.
But is that something that's what you want?
I would love that. Yeah,
For how
yeah.
long could you be in that environment though?
Forever.
I'm still there.
That's the thing. Is like I can't. I don't find VR. I find VR very cool, but it's really not relaxing. So specifically for like gaming, where I like to like relax and sit on a couch or whatever, it's not that.
Well, I played Rez in in VR, and that was
relaxing,
awesome.
Was it chill?
Yeah, I wish I was playing it on Wednesday. Let's just say that. Like, it was awesome. Like, I definitely felt a place of like tranquility. Like, I was just like, oh, it was basically the thing that made me say, I need to get PlayStation
Wait,
VR.
what is Rez?
So Rez is like a rhythm kind of shooter game that's been out for like, it first debuted almost like 20 years ago, I want to say, maybe even longer ago. And it's just very like vectory looking.
You know that scene in Lawnmower Man?
Yes.
Flying?
Yeah.
It's kind of like
a lot
that.
like that.
Okay.
But it's like, it's peaceful because it's not violent and it's just like not scary. But they basically made a VR version of it.
Okay.
But
there's music
and there's
involved,
music
too.
and like a lot of fly through and a lot of like, oh, I feel like I'm flying. Oh.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Have you played it yet, Russ?
I haven't played Rez now.
It's really good. And they did a great job with it in PSVR. And I just feel like I could see myself getting lost there. I played it for a half hour and I was like, yep, I could do that. I could do that.
Can you imagine putting a VR helmet on and like taking a nap and then waking up and you're just like in
That's
space?
dangerous. It's going to happen too.
That'd be really cool.
I mean, it's probably already happened.
They could do totally like where they do like the sensory deprivation chambers,
Yeah.
like that sort of environment.
Yeah.
I still am never totally tricked, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah,
I like VR is not good enough yet where it's indistinguishable from real life.
but you've never been in a situation where everything is silent around you. You've never been like in like a totally quiet room for an extended period of time.
No, I've never been incarcerated.
And I think that's what,
in solitary.
Plus, everything that you're doing is very graphics heavy too, so that makes it obviously not real.
Well, I also mean like it doesn't look real.
but
Like it
that's-
looks like computer generated graphics.
But have
which
you
is
looked at
that's what-
360-degree videos in VR?
Yes.
Yeah.
Music
And
videos
I still
things.
think there's a bit of like screen dooring
Yeah,
and like some stuff
that's
where,
true.
A little bit,
where I
yeah.
can just tell like, oh, I'm looking at a screen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think, and we've talked about this a bunch, like 10 years from now, yeah, that probably will go away when you have like an 8K projection situation.
Yeah.
You know, like that'll be great.
But
And
I definitely, my brain. Did
It's
you
gonna
play?
Oh, yeah.
What is it? Job Simulator.
Yeah, I did. Oh my god, that
Fun.
was hilarious.
It's fun.
It's hilarious and fun, and you really. I mean, I really felt like. Like you're reaching out and like
Yeah.
grabbing stuff off the shelves
Just
and
like
throwing
dumb.
them.
I just love like grabbing all the shit off the shelves and be like, I don't need this, I don't
Yeah,
need
you
that.
can, like,
you
throw
know?
a
And
coffee
there's
cup
still-
at your
It's fun.
boss.
It's fun.
There's just no way to convey. There's no
I know.
way that it doesn't sound totally.
I know.
stupid.
That's why like I kind of wish I could bring it home this weekend.
You should.
Yeah.
I can't. It's
Why?
because Vive is a huge pain in the ass.
The
to
Vive
set
is
up.
tough.
Yeah.
But the Oculus would be easy.
Oculus is like not what you want to show people, in my opinion, right now.
No, you don't think so?
I just don't think it's that impressive. Like I think Vive blows it out of the water right now.
What's the killer? I guess the space game is the killer app.
Eve?
Eve.
What is
Valkyrie.
it, Valkyrie Eve? Yeah. I don't know. What did you brought it up because you want to talk about like alternate applications?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So I wanted to talk about some lesser discussed games in VR. I guess you wouldn't even call them games because it's not really fun.
Right.
So stuff that could be a little bit disturbing that you
Oh,
can
no.
see in VR.
Oh, no,
Which,
what?
Russ, I'm glad that you brought up torture because
Oh.
that's what I wanted
Did
to
I?
talk about. Yeah,
When
yeah.
did
You
when
brought up sensory deprivation.
That's
and-
not torture. It's relaxing.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I guess that could be used for either way. Oh, like you wanted like one of those like floating
Yes,
sort of sensory
exactly.
things.
Saline tank.
So you guys have read Kill Screen, right? We had
Yeah.
Jamin Warren on
Yes.
from that website.
Yeah.
So Kill Screen published an article that I thought was really interesting, talking about the possibility of using VR to aid in real life torture scenarios. You know, either used by law enforcement or the government or just criminals, like people that just are using it for bad reasons. And they interviewed this VR collective called Be Another Lab,
Okay.
who make this claim that the military is either working on it right now or they will be very soon.
They have to be.
Yeah,
course.
definitely. And it immediately brought up sort of images of like a Clockwork Orange.
Sure.
Or remember in Street Fighter, the movie, where they like made Charlie into Blanca by just showing him like messed up photos and videos of war?
I don't
I
remember.
think it was
Back
more
at
to it than
Charlie?
that.
Who's Charlie?
Charlie is he's
Guile?
like Guile's friend who becomes
Chuck Guile?
Yeah, he becomes Blanca in that movie.
Oh shit!
God,
okay.
I can't believe I referenced.
That's weird that
I
you
think
know.
they
all
also
Love it.
injected him with stuff.
Yeah,
I don't
that
think it
too.
was just the images.
That too. But, it really shows you, since movies are a true mirror of our lives,
Right.
it shows you how being subjected forcefully to some of those images can really drive someone crazy. Right?
Yeah.
So, think about stuff like when you're in solitary confinement, people
Yeah.
like wind up going nuts and maybe even committing suicide because they've done that. Or, look at something, another example in pop culture would be The Giver, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like seeing messed up stuff can
I can't
really
believe you
influence
brought up
you.
The Giver with Russ here.
Oh, yeah. You haven't read that, have you?
No, it's
No,
I
don't you
ruined it for
remember?
Jeff. I haven't read it, and I ruined it for Jeff.
That's right. I do remember
I
that.
can't. How dare you? How dare you
fool.
pick old scabs?
Yeah, sorry about that.
I'm still bitter.
forgot.
And not only
I forgot I ruined the
was
Russ
like a
ruined that
page
children's book
before.
for you.
Oh, there's totally a handful of people listening who remember all this.
Yeah.
Russ,
This is prior to the movie coming
yeah,
out. too.
Russ ruined the book The Giver to me, and that big detail about that book that you find out that's on
I think
one
you can
page.
ruin it now.
No, it's on one page. I was at the page before. It was like 187. I was on 185.
It's a great twist, too.
It's a great twist, especially because it's a book.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it wouldn't really work.
It
as a movie, as evidence.
Apparently it did.
good.
Anyway,
But
yes,
anyway,
that's a dark thing
you
to
could
think about.
really, there's no examples that we can really cite right now because we don't know if it's happening or not. But,
No, but
I'm
it-
sure it will exist on Guantanamo very, very
And
soon.
it makes sense because think about it. What they're using now is like sleep deprivation, which is what you're talking
Right.
about, which is super bright rooms with like blaring music or sound to keep people up. If all you had to do was put a helmet on them,
Right.
you could just have like 8 of those in a single room and it'd be fine.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
this is
I mean, like
diabolical, but-
obviously people will be upset about it the way we are upset about waterboarding and stuff like
Right,
that.
right.
I mean, yes, obviously if like the military dabbled with like telepathy and like stuff like that, they sure as shit are gonna do stuff that's real.
Yeah.
And well, like VR torture.
Or think about how a lot of amputees get PTSD and they experience that thing called phantom limb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Where you sort of don't really
You're not-
acknowledging the fact that like you've lost
Right.
a limb.
Well,
and
you
sort
actually
of feel it there.
right? You
still.
feel pain.
Yeah, and so imagine, maybe your mind can develop this idea of like feeling pain mentally, being assisted by a VR headset. That
Yeah.
could actually happen in a torture scenario.
It's a really, and it's just all this is happening so fast. right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, it is.
It's, I think, a very interesting notion of VR is like seeing just what your brain is capable of doing,
Right.
because of just what you see,
Yeah.
right? So like we know your brain is super powerful. It can like redirect, pain numbing things, or it's really in control of your body, right? Like obviously, but it also can do things that seem unnatural,
Right.
Right? So I want to know, like, what can we, like, maybe we are able to activate something.
Yeah.
Not like a stupid, more than 100% of your brain, man. Like, not like that, but
Yeah.
like maybe we can activate things that don't occur in nature, that you can't see in nature, but somehow we can, ring the bell in VR. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you already have something in mind that you're not?
No, I don't.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
I mean it
exactly
could be
it.
anything. It could
He
be
doesn't.
sexual. It could be
Right.
cognitive. It could be, who knows? It could be a feeling.
Yeah.
Some sort of feeling.
The most
It's wacky.
disturbing thing that I ever saw on Oculus Rift was an app called iAnimal. Have you guys seen that one?
No,
So iAnimal
you're
is
already in the gulch of VR.
Yeah,
you're-
definitely.
Like it didn't take
Oh
long.
yeah. I'm
Did you buy an
sifting through
Oculus?
it. No, I've just used it here.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah, you want to know why Justin's here till 10 o'clock every Friday?
just crying
Yeah.
and sweating it out in here. Yeah, so iAnimal was developed by this company called Animal Equity, which is kind of like PETA.
Oh.
So you see where this is going.
Yeah.
right?
This is not
iAnimal
good.
simulates and puts you into the body of a pig in a slaughterhouse. Which is messed up because we've all seen those PETA YouTube videos that take you sort of like a first-hand look inside one of those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
But it's a totally different experience when you become the animal, right? So I think the thing that's really crazy about this is that they use binaural recordings.
Okay.
So you really feel the the room directionally,
Hey.
just by the sounds. And so you're hearing things like grinding noises. You're hearing like just below where your ears are. You hear your throat getting
Right, but you're not.
and
But you're not a
blood dripping
pig.
out.
Okay.
But you're not a pig. But when you see it, you're in the body of a pig. So when
Right.
you look down, you see pig's hooves.
Of
right?
course, but
and
like
you
a
get
pig-
led through the whole lineup, and
Totally.
it's really, really,
It
it's
is.
much more effective than just watching a
I'm
YouTube
sure
video.
it is, and I don't want to. I walk a very weird line when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, essentially, when you experience that, you are just a human being wearing a pig costume.
Yeah, you're saying you don't believe that animals have that sort of consciousness.
They don't.
Oh.
Well, obviously, a pig doesn't know it's being led to slaughter, or this huge pig upheaval, and there would be this uprising, and they'd be like, "Fuck this! I'm not going into there."
Mm-hmm.
Again, like I am not, endorsing inhumane treatment of animals. I eat meat. I respect people who don't eat meat. I get it. I just think like you are playing a very confusing and potentially deceiving game.
Right.
But
When
that's the idea.
I get
It's
it.
a
And the
PR
whole
campaign,
I get it. And the whole idea is like, no. Pig is just as smart as you.
Right.
Like it's just as important. And I understand that mentality, and I'm not trying to talk shit about it. But again, what you are simulating is a human in a pig costume.
Right.
Yeah,
They're
but-
leaving it up to the user to sort of
Right. And I get it. Like
draw their own meaning.
totally. Right. I'm just saying that's what that is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but what about the people that say like a pig is as smart as like a 2-year-old?
Yeah, sure.
So you agree with that?
Okay. But a 2-year-old would crawl into the meat grinder.
None of this is real, though,
I know,
right?
I
But
know.
that's the
just think, like,
detail is
you know
that
what I'm
people
saying,
watching
right?
this know
Yeah.
that it's not real, that they're not actually a pig when they put the headset on. They're not surprised when they take it off and
Again,
they're human
like,
again.
I don't want people to be upset. I
Yeah.
am totally compassionate to
But
that
it is
cause.
messed up. I
messed
think
up.
it is a messed up idea that you're like, they're not forcing anyone to watch it.
No.
And I also think like if you're interested, there's a value in seeing
Right.
like where your food comes
Of
from.
course.
Right.
And I think everybody should watch Austin Walker from Giant Bomb was talking about this doc called like Our Daily Bread,
Yeah.
which is like, you see what happens.
Yeah,
Right.
I choose not to watch.
Of course,
those
you
things,
turn a blind
Yeah.
eye.
right.
But yeah,
Some people just like to disturb themselves
they
Yeah.
do. a
into
little
changing
bit.
lifestyles, I guess.
I guess so.
Last one that I wanted to talk about that was crazy.
Sure.
I haven't had a chance to test this out yet, but I really want to. It's called taphobos.
What?
You know what taphobia is?
No.
It's a fear of being buried alive.
Oh no. No, why are you
Yes.
doing that?
Well, your fear would be getting drowned at sea. Because I know how much you hate the ocean.
Oh my
so I'm
God, why
sure
would
there's an app that's coming for that in VR.
Or like, here's an app in VR where you're just like projected into space forever.
yeah. You.
Oh, that exists already.
Floating.
What is that? No, that's not Adrift. Adrift.
No,
is-
not Adrift, but just like like there's tons of space apps where you're just alone in space.
That just seems boring.
Yeah, I feel like no, but then you just get sucked into the sun after like a couple minutes.
Is that good or bad?
I have a fear of like enormity.
Okay,
like
I understand.
the vastness of the ocean at
Sure.
night terrifies me.
Yeah.
So like that movie, what was that movie where the couple gets left?
Shut your mouth.
What movie is that?
It's called Open Water. or
Open
something-
Water.
something like
They're
that.
on like a scuba diving tour, and the boat leaves without them,
Yeah.
and they're
just
there for like 2 hours.
But
and
they
the
get
sharks
rescued. What? Don't. That's
ruining
that-
it for everyone.
The world is impossible.
That matters. Wait, you think the end of that movie's they die?
That'd be a good.
You think
ending.
like the end of the movie's like roll credits and
2
just like
hours later.
just like pieces of like flesh?
Ew.
the
floating?
shark shows up like wearing his shirt.
Shark like puts a bib on. Like you think that's it?
Yeah, that would be a horrible ending. All right, so anyway, Taphobos. It's not a real app yet, but I think it was the result of a hackathon, and these two guys developed it. And I kind of want to show you guys in the studio because the way it works is crazy. So it's a 2-man game, right? One guy lies down, but both people have the headsets on.
Okay.
One guy lies down, right? And in his headset, he sees that he's inside of a coffin,
Okay.
right? Posted on the underside of the coffin lid, you see the guy sees a map, right, with directions on how to get to him.
Okay, so this
The
is
other
better.
guy, is at a computer, right? Also has one of these things on, and it's his job to direct his character to the guy in the coffin. And you have to
He's
do
at
it.
a computer.
Yeah, he's at a computer
Oh,
sort of
in real
like-
life.
In real life, yeah, but
Got
with
it.
the headset on.
Understand.
And he's directing his character to the guy.
Why does he have the headset on?
Because I guess it's so that he could see how much
Oh,
time
you
is
just need a
remaining.
controller.
You need a
essentially.
controller,
I
yeah.
understand. Okay.
So, the guy inside the coffin has to direct the other guy to him in a certain amount of time, and the entire time he's doing it,
It's like an
you can
hourglass.
see, you can see dirt slowly
That's great.
pouring into
Saw movie situation.
into the coffin. And again, the binaural recordings are kind of a crazy thing because you could hear the direction of where the dirt is coming in, kind of like tapping around you, You're slowly building up.
That's creepy.
Yeah, and if you don't accomplish the directions in a certain amount of time, the guy dies, and he just
He doesn't really die. He doesn't really die.
Yeah, not in real life, but he sees the dirt sort of go up his throat and
Because-
it goes past his neck. It's really scary.
You know, guys, if you die in VR, you die in real life.
Think about how many Faces of Death videos
Stop
you can make
it.
just using
I don't
VR.
want. That's
It's
not.
going to be all
That's
over the place.
terrible. You like it.
No, I don't.
Like you're almost excited.
No,
by
I'm
it.
not getting
You're
excited
very into
by it.
VR.
You
I mean,
are.
it's just when you think about like the alternative uses like
Well,
this, it gets really crazy.
I think you're just realizing that VR could be the door to like the dystopian cyberpunk future that you like kind of want.
That we're already in
Totally.
right now.
Yeah.
It goes way beyond just like pretend you're on like a scaffolding trying
Yeah.
to save a cat. Like
Right.
those are like the very minor sort of.
We're
kitschy
in the
uses.
OkCupid phase right now.
Sure.
And
This is the
VR
MySpace
is
phase.
Tinder.
Phase.
Right.
Like,
Totally.
that's the end result. It's like,
It reminds me of this game you were just talking about called Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. Do you know
yeah,
about this game?
very cool game.
So this is a game where like you can play in VR. You don't have to, but it's essentially
One person has to be in
they
VR.
don't have to be in VR.
Oh, really?
They can just not
Oh,
see
yeah.
the directions.
Right.
So I think you print out a whole manual,
Okay.
and the game randomly generates these sort of like bomb instructions of how to defuse a bomb.
You have like a binder of like 30 pages that you print out in real life.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
Right, and then have you played it?
Yeah.
So explain it.
Yeah, so you have this. So one person has this binder. They're not wearing a helmet.
Mm-hmm.
The other person is wearing a helmet, and they see the bomb in front of them. And the other person, and the person wearing the helmet basically has to say like, "Okay, I see this bomb. I see there's a clock in the center of it. There's a little blue screw on the right side. There's a code on the left side."
Mm-hmm.
And they have to convey this information to the person with the binder, and the person with the binder is furiously flipping through it to find the proper page to disarm that bomb.
I see. Yeah.
And it's randomly generated, so depending on which challenge you're doing, it's going to change. Like the answer isn't always go to page 27.
Huh.
So it's like you're frantically like it's like
very cool idea.
So what are you describing when you see the parts? Is it like
so it'll be like
hardware?
Some of it. Yeah, sometimes it's like here's a blue wire and here's a red wire. Sometimes it's like there's 4 press buttons and you need to figure out what order to press.
Yeah.
them in.
wow? And then you have to do it in a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
It's really cool.
it's really
Ooh.
neat. Yeah,
really
very-
cool stuff.
Very
I
intense.
feel like you would dig that, Justin.
Yeah, that sounds like a cool party game.
So we're almost out of time. There was this DuckTales thing. Are we talking about
We can
DuckTales?
save it if we're out of time. It's fine.
Life is like a hurricane. Is that? We weren't just gonna sing DuckTales.
No.
You'll just have to wait till next time to,
Yeah.
to hear
Wait,
it.
I thought it was Chippendales that you wanted to talk about.
Rescue Rangers. Yeah, no, I want to. I mean, since we weren't going to play, I do want to mention the Chippendales theme song has a long version that's about 3.5 minutes long.
Yeah, I'm surprised that was the thing. Like, where did they use that?
Probably on an album, like a Disney.
Oh, so the album they released just of the intro to Chippendales?
Well,
They're just like
no, it would be like all of
Disney
Disney's
themes
hits.
or whatever,
And also,
yeah.
I think a lot of those theme songs probably originally have a long version. Like
Right.
DuckTales is a long version.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
right.
all of them.
And
Perfect
then, like,
Strangers
Full
has
House,
an extended
yeah, all
They
of
version.
cut
them.
it down.
So you're saying that there's a very impressive solo within the extended song?
Right. In Rescue Rangers, Google Rescue Rangers, there's a 3.5 minute version.
Okay.
Listen to the whole thing because the whole song is dynamite. But about halfway through, about 2 minutes in, is one of the best saxophone solos I've ever heard in my entire life.
You obviously haven't heard a lot of saxophone.
You guys talked right over it, so you missed all the magic of it. It's spectacular.
It reminds me of the sax solo in When the Going Gets Tough
Yes.
by Billy Ocean.
A song that you absolutely love.
Well, let's go to it. Do you know where
Yeah,
in the
you
time
can start
code?
around 150.
Oh, so you actually memorized where we're at here.
Wait for it.
I mean, this is like hot 80s, like...
Yeah.
I think this is how we should leave everyone
I
today.
think you're right.
Real quick pop quiz. If you're a big Chip and Dale's fan, who were the 2 Chip and Dale characters based on? You could tell by their clothing, but
Hawaii
tell me.
5-0, I believe, is one of them.
No.
Wrong. I don't know.
The one you should really be able to tell.
MacGyver.
Right? He's got a hat on. He's got the leather jacket.
Indiana Jones.
The other one who's
Tom
wearing
Selleck,
a
right?
Hawaiian shirt in
I don't remember.
Magnum PI.
Oh, that's who they're supposed to be, right?
We talked right over the solo. It's
No,
great.
we heard it. It was in the back. It felt good. Oh, God. Man, I don't remember it being this emotional.
When they're around, the chips are never down. That's some lyricism right there.
I feel like we should get Bridget in here right now.
Yeah, she would lose her
She
mind.
kind of looks like that character. Am I right? What's her name?
Gadget.
Bridget?
Oh, that's not an insult.
No,
She was
it's
like the
not.
cutest character. I feel like every young boy had crushes on that character, that cartoon character.
That could be true or
What
not.
was her name? Gadget? Was it really?
Yeah, Gadget Hack Wrench was her name.
Oh,
That's a cool
man.
name. Why the hell were they even wearing clothes? Like, they wore these stupid outfits, but like all their junk is flapping in the wind anyway. You know what I mean?
Well, Gadget wore clothes.
Yeah, she wore
So
clothes.
she was a little
Okay.
modest.
That's funny, man. Thanks for sharing that,
My pleasure.
Ross. That was great. That really put me in a good mood for the weekend.
That's what I'm saying.
866-404-CNET. Leave us a voicemail, the 404@cnet.com if you want to go the email route. Follow everyone on Twitter. And there's a Facebook page, and there's all this other stuff. Listen to Russ's show, West Wing History Class. Make sure you do that once a week. Catch the Beastcast. And catch whatever Justin's doing on CNET.
Yeah.
What's the hot take from Justin and you this week?
I'm gonna direct people to my Twitter page because it's where I post a lot of the stories that I bring onto the show.
Okay.
So if I'll send them to you for the show notes, but everything that I talked about today, the 3D printing story, like all that creepy torture VR stuff, I just like to tweet it out. So if you're into cool links, check it out.
Creepiness awaits.
Yeah, Malice Brutus is my Twitter name.
All right. Thanks again for being here, bud.
Thank you.
We'll see everyone next time. Until then, have an awesome weekend.